All right. Let's test. I'm gonna read some more the picture retrospective. Um, I'm gonna start with Guillaume message. This is a rewarding of my comments during ACD last week. The problem isn't the fork side, it's that forks are loaded with EIPs that seem small enough that including them feels like it will not cause any delay in the fork. These claims are often taken at face value. Core developers get very busy implementing EIPs that are completely unrelated to the big picture of the roadmap. Yeah, but it feels like something is being done because yet another EIP is included. One can add as many committees and smaller decision groups as one wants. The problem will still be the same if there is no commitment to the overall roadmap and if frivolous EIPs keep getting scheduled. I agree with the Nezamine team that there should be a much higher expectation on the quality of the testing and the specification of each EIP. This is exactly what we have tried to achieve with the vertical trees slash stateless effort, and yet this has played against it. People realized how complex it was and preferred relatively smaller EAPs that felt like we something would ship fast. Okay. Um, there may there needs to be a way to commit to long-term items on the roadmap as a way to signal that work doesn't get wasted. In other words, we need commitment from core developers and especially the research team that it is safe to work on extremely challenging and difficult forks. Without these guarantees, it's impossible to plan and work in parallel. Only the next fork is thought of while everything else is maybe. The amount of people willing to take the risk of working on extremely ambitious fork will decrease as the costs to do so are high and the rewards non-existent. This is not a question of decentralization. Large centralized companies run into the same kind of issue as they grow successful. There's no way to solve these issues, but the few steps below would be a good start. The AP champions should justify on ACD how an EIP advances the roadmap or increase the security of the network. That means EIP are currently scheduled for that means EIPs that are currently scheduled for Prague or Osaka. Okay, don't try to change the roadmap because Twitter panics. Any change to the roadmap should be a months-long process involving many stakeholders, probably during an interop or a major conference. Improve communication between researchers and core dev. The latest example is inclusion list and quantum resistance a close second. While these topics do need to be researched, they have been pushed onto the core development agenda way too early, caused a lot of confusion, and had a negative impact on the timelines. Okay. The TQ team has shared a document message from Lucas. The TQ team has shared a document reflecting on some of the points raised by team and also some observations from the team. The full retrospective document can be found here. Please read below a summary of our discussion. It is impressive to see how much we have evolved in our testing capabilities, largely due to the support from Ispenda Ops and the tooling that they have developed. We cannot stop praising them for all their work and how much more productive we are because of their help. It is really good to see many teams working together and collaborating toward making the protocol better. Interrupt event and ESRND workshop have been super valuable. Scope creep has impacted our productivity and workflow, and made us take longer to deliver value. We should try to have a better understanding of the features going into a fork earlier in the cycle and converting into a stable scope sooner. All right. Team message. Thank you for everyone who has shared their perspective on this thread so far, putting it all together. There are three overarching themes that emerge: increasing the frequency of network upgrades and limiting the scope to achieve this, second, agreeing on a clear technical standards for EIPs at various stages of the process, from their initial introduction to Ultra Dev to their inclusion in an upgrade and eventual deployment. Third, higher holder process reforms for ACDs. I think we can and should make progress on all the three track in a similar parallel. Starting with one, our guiding question should be, what would it take to ship Fusaka in 6 months after Spectra? My personal answer is that the scope for Fusaka should be limited to already specified EAPs, PeerDAS, and EOF. While this may not be the perfect fork, it undoubtedly advances its own roadmap by scaling L2 block capacity. Additionally, PeerDAS and EOF would both meet any technical bar we'd want to impose on EIPs for consideration, as they already run on multiple client devnets. This brings me to two, assuming that we already freeze Fusaka now, then the first step before debating the Amsterdam scope should be to agree on what the technical requirements for proposed EEP should be. Hopefully we can agree on that relatively rapidly, leaving several months for now for us to discuss proposal and for their champions to get them up to our standards. In parallel to this, we should have a deeper discussion about third. I'm excited about the different proposal for more radical rethinking of all of our devs, but want to make sure we don't rush to implement a whole new system without fully thinking through its second order effects. Realistically, it will take many months to get people on board with a new way of working, and I think we should accept that rather than naively expect to overhaul ACD overnight. Putting all of this together, my tentative proposal would be try and ship smaller, faster fork, starting with Fusaka, agree on a set of minor reforms, like Bruce mentioned, and go for Amsterdam planning cycle. Okay. Kickstart an effort around a broader ACD reform with expectation that more substantial process changes would be proposed for the next fork planning cycle, hopefully in 6 months. Okay, that sounds good. Great. Let's finish this meeting. That should be enough. Let's put some unicorns in the chats. Okay, done.